presentation.
Good morning and welcome to our first program of the week. I'm Kokelitanda. It's quiet at Parliament today. Most members are spending the day in their respective constituencies. The National Assembly is taking a break this week. It won't have any plenary sessions until next week, but a number of committee meetings have been scheduled from tomorrow until Friday. The National Council of Provinces will, however, continue with plenary sessions and will bring you coverage of that during this week. In our program today, we focus on the National Assembly. Last week, members of the National Assembly had the opportunity to do some stock taking on the way this institution operates. To conclude that debate, we invited the chief whips of the major political parties to join us in a debate of our own on matters pertaining to the National Assembly. This debate with the chief whip of the ANC in the National Assembly, Dr. Mathole Motshekga, the chief whip of the official opposition, Mr. Armiston Watson, and the House whip of the Congress of the People, Ms. Killian, was recorded earlier. We also bring you extracts of some heated interaction in the National Assembly during the debate on the presidency's budget vote. But let's go to the debate with the chief whips of the major political parties in Parliament. Dr. Motshekga, if I may start off with you, a budget of 1.7 billion rands has been allocated to Parliament. But is the institution fulfilling its constitutional mandate?
The Speaker of Parliament indicated that much leaves to be desired, and he gave reasons why. That there is a lack of capacity, for instance, research capacity, and Parliament is a national forum for the consideration of national issues. Now, if you lack capacity in the area of research, is a very serious matter. And Parliament also has to entertain international treaties. It has got to entertain reports coming from oversight work. Now, if you don't have capacity, that also limits the capacity of the politicians to hold the executive accountable, because the basis on which that has got to be done, which is the reports, is not before Parliament.
18 years down the line and Parliament is still faced with challenges with regard to resources. But is this institution fulfilling its mandate, Ms. Killian?
If we are honestly assessing the role of Parliament, then I do believe that there are serious shortcomings and it is actually not fulfilling its constitutional mandate. The reason is, as Dr. Mathole has already referred to part of the problem, if we are trying to function as an institution with 9 legal advisors, and we have only in the National Assembly 35 committees, apart from ad hoc committees that are assessing legislation and sometimes different sets of legislation, there is no way that we can really fulfill our mandate to do our legislative authority work with due diligence. And that is apart from our oversight role, which is equally important and which is also, in terms of the Constitution, described as a must. It's an obligation. We have to scrutinize executive action.
Mr. Watson, in your speech during debate on Parliament's budget, you said effective and efficient operating practices and procedures are non-existent and need to be re-established. What do you actually mean by that? Is this institution failing the nation?
Well, definitely. Parliament, as an institution, as I said also in my speech, should be the center of debate. This is where the issues of the people should be discussed amongst ourselves, with them, and as a Parliament. That is not happening. We've become a dreary Parliament of discussing legislation and budgets, and we're not really listening to what the people out there are saying. That's why the people are really not interested in even coming to Parliament anymore with their problems. They go to courts, they discuss it elsewhere, and they find other avenues of getting action from the executive.
There it comes again, Dr. Motshekga. Parliament has become boring and with lack of robust debate, no opportunity given to members to engage the executive?
That is not true. The truth of the matter is that some political leaders don't yet understand what Mr. Watson is referring to, that Parliament must be a center of debate. Now, the leader of the DA, Honorable Mazibuko, Mr. Terrell Gota, yesterday, they disgraced Parliament because Parliament cannot be a forum for hate speech. So they came to Parliament to fight against the head of the state instead of debating the issues and helping the people to understand. So that's why the people would then find Parliament boring, because people do not accept that Parliament should be used for hate speech, as Ms. Mazibuko and Legota did yesterday.
Robust debate, is it hate speech, Ms. Killian?
I absolutely do not agree with that. Parliament is a house where, and it's the national forum, according to the Constitution, where matters of national interest must be discussed. If that is the view of Dr. Mathole, so be it. And the ANC perhaps, and I believe they are overly sensitive. These matters should be unpacked, and we should come to resolutions of the critical problems facing many, many South Africans who live in dire poverty.
Mr. Watson, your leader is also being accused of hate speech.
No, well, I totally disagree with what the Chief Whip of the ANC is saying. And he's misinterpreting what I said. I said Parliament should be a centre of debate on topical issues. Yesterday's debate was a budget vote debate, which traditionally in our Parliament and in most parliaments of the world is political debate. And so political debate, you can't be kleinsierig when there's political debate. And to come here and to accuse our leaders of practicing hate speech, when indeed he has just done that now.
Mr. Watson, let's hold it there for a moment. We're going for a commercial break. We'll continue just after that.